My fiancée confessed she was pregnant with my business partner's child, saying, "He satisfies me," while expecting me to keep the wedding and our life together. I have built a successful business from scratch. I was about to marry the woman of my dreams, and now everything is completely destroyed. Let me give you some context to make sense of it. I'm 29 years old, and I own a residential renovation company here in Colorado. I started with absolutely nothing after my father died when I was 23. He left me his tools and about $1,000 in debt. I worked like crazy for 6 years, day after day. Now I earn around $280,000 a year with 8 employees. My fiancée, Pamela, and I have been together for 3 years. She is a real estate agent, beautiful, ambitious, with expensive tastes, but I did not mind spoiling her because I thought she was worth it. We got engaged 8 months ago, and I spent $22,000 on her ring because she said she deserved the best. Our wedding was scheduled in 3 months, and I had already paid $35,000 in deposits. My partner, Tyler, has been with me for 2 years. I brought him in when we started getting large commercial projects because I needed someone to handle the clients while I managed operations. He is a guy with a lot of smooth talk. He always knew what to say to close deals. We were planning to expand into commercial development, a multi-million-dollar opportunity that could set us both up for life. Yesterday started like a normal day. I got home early because a plumbing emergency was resolved faster than expected. I saw Tyler's truck in my driveway, which was not strange. He had come over many times to talk about business strategies and projects. But when I entered the house, everything felt wrong. I found them in the living room sitting at opposite ends of the sofa as if they were at a funeral. Pamela's eyes were red and swollen as if she had been crying for hours. Tyler could not even look at me. He just kept staring at his hands. I felt in my stomach that something terrible was coming. Pamela started with, "Ion, we need to talk. I'm pregnant." I swear my first thought was pure excitement. We had talked about having children after the wedding, but life happens, right? I was smiling like an idiot saying, "Wow, honey, that is amazing. We will figure it out." Then Tyler finally looked at me and said, "Ion, it is mine, brother. I'm so sorry." The next few minutes are a blur. Tyler explaining how it started a few months ago, how they could not help it, how they never wanted it to happen. Pamela crying, saying she loves me, but she is confused and does not know what she wants. Here comes the worst part. They want the 3 of us to sit down and figure out how to make this work. Tyler really thinks we can remain partners and raise the child together. Pamela thinks maybe we could take a break from the engagement, but continue living together while she figures out her feelings. I asked them how long this had been going on. Tyler said about 4 months. Right when we signed the biggest contract so far, a $1.2 million renovation. While I was working 12 hours a day, my fiancée was sleeping with my partner. The pregnancy timeline makes it even worse. She is about 10 weeks along, which means they started right after Christmas. While I was working overtime to pay for the wedding, the house, and our future, they were together. I told them both to get the hell out of my house immediately. Tyler tried to give me a speech about how we are still brothers and that friendship and business are too important to ruin over personal matters. Pamela cried louder, saying she needed time and asking where she was supposed to go, since this was her home too. I said I did not care and that they should figure it out. I have been staying at my friend Diego's house for 3 days. He is a plumber and sometimes works with my team. He has been keeping me from going back there and doing something I would regret. He has a twisted sense of humor and keeps making jokes about laying pipe just to make me laugh instead of punching walls. But here is the real nightmare. Tyler and I have a business together with active contracts worth over $2 million. Our biggest client specifically requested that Tyler handle their account because they loved his presentation style. If this partnership blows up, I could lose everything I have built in 6 years. Pamela has not stopped texting me since I left. Most are messages about how we can get through this as a family and that she never wanted to hurt me. Tyler sent me a long message about how our friendship and our business are too important to destroy over personal matters. Personal matters. Sleeping with my fiancé behind my back for 4 months is just a personal matter to him. The house is in my name only, luckily. But Pamela has been living there for 2 years and probably has legal rights as a tenant. According to a lawyer friend, the wedding venue wants the final payment of $18,000 in 30 days or we lose all the deposits. The engagement ring was custom-made and is non-refundable. My lawyer friend says I need to be extremely careful with the business situation. Tyler owns 35% and has legal rights to his share of all current contracts. If I try to kick him out without just cause, he could sue me for his portion of everything we have built together. I feel completely trapped. I cannot go home without seeing memories of Pamela everywhere. I cannot go to work without seeing Tyler's face. I cannot cancel the wedding without losing a fortune. I cannot fire Tyler without risking my entire business. This is a disaster. The two people I trusted most in the world just destroyed everything, and they want me to play nice, so everyone can be comfortable. Has anyone dealt with something like this? How do you even begin to untangle this kind of mess when your personal and professional lives are completely intertwined? Update 1. I found some very interesting documents. You were all absolutely right to tell me to get my own lawyer immediately. I spent the last week going through every document, contract, and receipt related to my business and my personal life. I found information that changes everything. First, thank you for all the support and advice. Diego has been reading your comments out loud to entertain me while we sort this out. The guy does a perfect impression of smug people when he reads Pamela's texts. Diego's theory is that Pamela saw my bank account growing and decided to secure her future. Tyler probably promised her he would take over the business, and she would be the queen of a larger operation. It sounds paranoid, but Diego might be right. So I hired a real lawyer, not just my friend who handles minor cases. The consultation cost me $500, but it was worth every penny. It turns out Tyler may have made a serious legal mistake. Remember I mentioned he handled client relations? Well, I reviewed the company's bank statements and found some very interesting spending patterns. Tyler has been taking clients to expensive dinners and charging them to the business, as well as golf outings. He even paid for a weekend trip to Las Vegas that he said was for networking purposes. In total, a misuse of company funds of around $23,000 in the last year. But here's the real problem. I also discovered that Tyler has been telling potential clients that he is the main partner and I'm just the operations guy. He even gave one client his personal number and told him to call him directly for any real decisions. My lawyer says this gives me grounds to terminate the partnership for breach of fiduciary duty and for misrepresentation. I can buy his shares at the value they had before the current contracts instead of after. Estimated, about $5,000 instead of the more than $200,000 they would be worth with the contracts included. Pamela has been escalating her text messages. It started with apologies. Now she is demanding I come home to discuss our situation like adults. Last night she sent, "I'm pregnant and stressed. The least you can do is make sure I have a safe place to stay." Diego read that and added, "And maybe buy me a little pregnancy gift, since I'm carrying a precious package." Yesterday, I gave Pamela a formal 30-day eviction notice. Colorado law requires it even if she is not on any lease agreement. I also changed the locks. She can pick up her belongings with 24 hours notice and a police escort if necessary. Tyler tried to corner me at the office yesterday morning. He kept saying we needed to fix this like men and that he would do whatever it takes to make it right. I told him to have his lawyer contact mine if he wanted to discuss business matters. The look on his face when I mentioned lawyers was priceless. Apparently, he thought I was just going to let him keep everything without legal consequences. This is where it gets interesting. I called our biggest client, the $1.2 million project, and explained the situation professionally. I told them that Tyler would no longer represent the company due to ethical violations and asked if they wanted to continue the project under my direct management. The client's response, "Thank God. Tyler always seemed unprofessional to us. We only worked with him because we believed you endorsed his approach." 3 other clients said similar things when I contacted them. It turns out Tyler's smooth talk actually made people uncomfortable, but they tolerated it because they wanted to work with my company's reputation. So now I'm restructuring everything, promoting my foreman, Mike, to project manager, hiring a real accountant, and cutting Tyler out completely. My lawyer says the fraud angle gives me grounds to completely void his partnership share, but the buyout route is cleaner and faster. Pamela showed up at Diego's house 2 nights ago. Diego opened the door and told her I was not available, but she could leave a message with his secretary and pointed to his dog. She was not amused. Now she claims she needs $3,000 immediately for pregnancy expenses and that as the father of her child, I have certain obligations, except the baby is not mine. I have always been extremely careful with contraception because an unexpected pregnancy would have completely derailed my business growth plans. Pamela knows this perfectly well. She just hopes I'm too nice to demand a paternity test. Speaking of which, my lawyer suggested documenting everything for possible fraud charges. Pamela accepting money under false pretenses. Claiming I'm the father could be considered a crime. Tyler sent another long message about how he is man enough to take responsibility and wants to do the right thing by Pamela and the baby, but also that he hopes we can maintain our professional relationship. This guy wants to have it all, get my fiancée pregnant, and continue making money thanks to my contacts and reputation. The audacity is absolutely incredible. Diego has been documenting everything for what he calls entertainment value. He is convinced this will be the best revenge story ever told and wants me to write a book about the whole experience. 30 days until Pamela has to leave my house. 45 days until Tyler's partnership is officially dissolved. 60 days until hopefully I have my life back on track. I cannot wait for this nightmare to end. Update 2. They are trying to destroy my company out of spite. Oh my God. You guys, these two are much more vengeful than I ever could have imagined. The mask has completely fallen off, and now I'm dealing with an all-out war against my business and my reputation. Diego has been calling this operation dumpster fire and documenting everything as if it were a nature documentary. Here we observe the gold digger in her natural habitat, frantically sending messages to her meal ticket after realizing the gravy train has completely derailed. Pamela's 30-day notice expired last week. She did not leave voluntarily, which meant I had to start a formal eviction in court. But before that happened, she decided to completely ruin my life. First, she emptied my house of everything valuable that was not nailed down. I'm talking about my 65-inch television, the expensive sound system, tools from my garage, even my grandmother's jewelry that was in the safe in my room. Probably about $5,000 worth of stuff disappeared. I called the police, but since she had been living there for 2 years, they said it was a civil matter that had to be resolved in court. She claims everything was either a gift or shared property from our relationship, but that was not even the worst part of her revenge plan. Pamela and Tyler have been calling my clients directly, telling them I'm having a mental breakdown and that current projects might not be completed on time. Tyler told 3 different clients that I have been making dangerous decisions on job sites and acting erratically. I lost 2 small contracts totaling $45,000 because the clients got scared and backed out. My big commercial client put their project on hold until they have clarity on my company's stability and leadership. I was absolutely furious until my lawyer pointed out that they had just handed me a perfect defamation case. Everything is documented in emails and recorded calls. Colorado is a one-party consent state for recording conversations. The best part, Tyler did not realize I can access the company's phone records. He has been using the company phones to make these calls, creating a perfect trail of his attempt to sabotage my business. Diego suggested I should thank them for being so stupid. Most people try to cover their tracks when they commit crimes. These two are leaving evidence like breadcrumbs for investigators to follow. Meanwhile, Pamela escalated her social media campaign against me. She posted on Facebook that I abandoned her during her pregnancy and that she is homeless because of my cruelty. Her friends and family have been calling me nonstop. Her mother called me crying, saying, "You are destroying an innocent woman's life. How can you be so heartless?" I told her to ask Pamela about the $5,000 in stolen property. That conversation ended pretty quickly. Tyler has been even worse with his reputation-destroying campaign. He is going around saying that I'm trying to steal his clients and that he built the business, while I was just the guy hammering like an employee. He even posted on LinkedIn that he is starting his own company and that former clients should go with him for continuity and professional service. The joke is on him. Our partnership agreement has a strict non-compete clause. He cannot solicit our clients for 18 months after the dissolution. My lawyer is already drafting a cease and desist letter. The pregnancy drama has also escalated. Pamela has been saying that her morning sickness is so severe that she needs $200 a week for medical expenses. She also says she needs a stress-free environment and that evicting her could harm the baby's development. I told her to ask Tyler for those bills, since it is his child and his responsibility. She even had the nerve to say, maybe we should do a DNA test after the baby is born to be absolutely sure who the father is. Even Diego was surprised by that level of manipulation. Bro, she is literally trying to keep multiple men on the financial hook. That is next-level scheming. But this is where karma started to hit hard. Tyler has been bragging to people that he is going to take over my business and get new contracts. The problem is, he does not know how to handle operations or the technical side. I received a call from one of his potential clients asking why their permit applications were rejected by the city. It turns out Tyler promised them work that does not comply with local building codes. He has been selling projects he cannot legally complete. When the client discovered that Tyler is not licensed to apply for permits in Colorado, they threatened to sue him for fraud and misrepresentation. Tyler panicked and called me begging for help with the permits. I told him to solve his own problems. 3 other clients of Tyler's have called me directly asking if I can take over their projects because Tyler does not seem to know what he is doing in construction. Pamela's eviction hearing was this week. Her lawyer, paid for by her parents, apparently tried to claim common law marriage rights and asked for temporary spousal support during the process. My lawyer laughed so hard he almost choked. Colorado no longer recognizes common law marriage, and we were never legally married. She has absolutely no right to my property or my income. I found out that Pamela is going around saying the engagement ring was just a promise ring I gave her because I loved her. She is trying to keep a $22,000 ring, claiming it was not conditioned on marriage. Unfortunately for her, I have the receipt, the custom design specifications, and about 50 photos of her showing off her engagement ring on social media to all her friends. Diego started a bet on how much more damage they will cause before this is over. The current odds favor Pamela trying to ask for money for baby furniture and Tyler trying to lure my employees away with promises he cannot keep. Speaking of employees, my team thinks this whole situation is hilarious. Mike said, "Boss, we always knew Tyler was a snake. We just did not think he would be stupid enough to bite the hand that feeds him." 28 days until the partnership with Tyler is officially dissolved. Then the real fun of getting my life back begins. Update 3. They tried to frame me for assault. Big mistake. These 2 idiots just escalated this beyond what I thought possible. But they also gave me the perfect opportunity to end this once and for all and get real justice. Diego has been calling this chapter When Idiots Attack, because apparently Tyler and Pamela decided to get creative with their revenge attempts, and it backfired spectacularly. Last Tuesday, I went to my house to do a final inspection before the court-ordered move-out date for Pamela. I brought Mike with me as a witness because my lawyer told me to never be alone with Pamela again for legal protection. I found Tyler there, in my house. Pamela said she had invited him over to help her pack her belongings. I told them both they had 5 minutes to take what they needed and leave forever. Tyler started getting aggressive, saying I could not tell him what to do and that he had rights as the father of Pamela's baby. That is when he pushed me hard. Now, I'm 6'2" and I spent 6 years working with hammers for a living. Tyler is maybe 5'9", and his idea of manual labor is carrying golf clubs. But I kept my cool because Mike was recording everything with his phone. Tyler pushed me again, even harder. Then Pamela started screaming. He is attacking Tyler. Someone help us. Here comes the beautiful part. Mike's video shows Tyler pushing me twice while I stood with my hands at my sides. It shows Pamela motioning for Tyler to defend himself from me when I never touched them. But they did not know about the video evidence. 20 minutes later, the police showed up at my office. Tyler had filed assault charges saying I attacked him without provocation and that Pamela witnessed the whole thing. When I showed the officer Michael's video, Tyler's whole story fell apart immediately. Not only had he lied to the police, which is a crime, but the video clearly showed him assaulting me while Pamela tried to file a false report. Diego was almost crying with laughter when I told him what happened. Bro, they literally tried to frame you and ended up recording themselves committing crimes. This is like watching cartoon villains. The officer asked me if I wanted to press charges against both of them. Of course I did. Tyler was arrested that night for assault and for filing a false report. Pamela was charged with filing a false report and with conspiracy. Both face possible jail time and permanent criminal records. But wait, it gets even better. While Tyler was being arrested, I had my accountant freeze all company assets pending the dissolution of the partnership. It turns out Tyler owed the company $31,000 in unauthorized expenses that I had not yet discovered. He had been using the company credit card for personal expenses, claiming it was all client entertainment. We found charges for Pamela's yoga membership, expensive dinners while I was away working, even a weekend trip to Aspen that he said was for networking opportunities. My accountant said Tyler basically financed his affair with my fiancée using company resources and my credit. Pamela's eviction hearing was yesterday. Her lawyer tried to argue that she was too traumatized by my supposed false assault allegations to attend. The judge asked for proof of the assault. When Pamela's lawyer admitted that the charges had been dropped because new evidence emerged, the judge asked what kind of evidence. I had to explain that Tyler had actually been arrested for assaulting me, and that Pamela was charged with filing false reports. The judge was not amused at all, ordered the immediate eviction, and said Pamela had 48 hours to remove all her belongings or they would be considered abandoned and I could dispose of them. Pamela's parents arrived last night to help her move. Her father even apologized to me, saying he had no idea how far she had fallen and that they were ashamed of her behavior. Her mother tried to negotiate keeping some expensive items Pamela had taken from my house. I told them that everything stolen had to be returned immediately or I would press additional charges for theft. I got most of my things back, although the television mysteriously showed up broken and several tools were missing. A small price to pay for getting them out of my life forever. Tyler's lawyer called yesterday, wanting to negotiate a deal. Tyler faces criminal charges, a civil lawsuit for the stolen money, and possible bankruptcy if he cannot make restitution to the company. His lawyer asked if I would consider dropping the criminal charges in exchange for Tyler giving up his entire partnership share for $1, a single dollar. I told them I would think about it overnight. Diego thinks I should absolutely take the deal. You get everything you want, and Tyler learns the most expensive lesson of his life. Plus, watching him explain to people why he sold his share of a successful company for $1 will be entertainment for years. My lawyer completely agrees. Tyler's criminal charges will not go away, but getting him out of my business permanently for practically nothing is worth more than dragging this through the courts for years. Pamela has been completely silent since the eviction. I heard from mutual friends that she moved back in with her parents, and they are not happy about the pregnancy or her legal troubles. Tyler sent one last desperate message. Ion, please, I know I messed everything up. Just tell me what I need to do to fix it. I replied, sign the papers. Mike says, the work environment has been absolutely amazing since Tyler left. Team morale is through the roof. We are ahead of schedule on all projects and 3 clients have already referred new business because they are happy with the improvement in management and professionalism. 48 hours until Tyler's partnership officially ends. Then, I can finally close this chapter and continue rebuilding my life. Diego is already planning a dollar party to celebrate. Final update. Sweet justice and the great comeback. It is over. Tyler gave up his 35% stake in the partnership for $1 last week, and I have never felt better about a business decision in my life. Diego threw the dollar party as promised. He even framed the $1 bill that Tyler's lawyer gave me and gave it to me as a trophy of stupidity. It now hangs in my office as a reminder. Tyler looked like he had aged 10 years when he signed those papers. His lawyer kept trying to negotiate better terms, but mine just pointed to Tyler's pending criminal charges and the $31,000 he owed in restitution. The final offer was simple. Sign for $1, and I will not pursue further criminal charges for the stolen company funds. Take it or leave it. He took it. Diego was there as my moral support, and afterwards he told Tyler, congratulations, man. You just set the record for the most expensive affair in Colorado history. That fling cost you about $200,000 and a successful business. I hope it was worth it. Tyler did not find it as funny as the rest of us, but the real karma came when Pamela's situation completely fell apart. It turns out her parents hired a private investigator after I showed them proof of the theft and the false police reports. They wanted to know how far the lies went before deciding whether to continue supporting her financially. The investigator discovered that Pamela had basically been lying about everything for months. Not only was she cheating with Tyler, she was seeing at least 2 other men, including a wealthy client she met at real estate showings. The pregnancy timeline does not even match Tyler's story. According to her medical records, which the investigator managed to access, she got pregnant before Tyler and I even signed the partnership agreement. She has been lying to everyone about who the real father is. Pamela's parents called me personally to apologize and to let me know they were cutting her off financially. Her father said, "We raised her better than this, but we cannot continue to enable this behavior. They also forced her to return the engagement ring to me. Apparently, they threatened to kick her out for good if she did not return what they called stolen property. I got my $22,000 ring back and sold it immediately. I used that money to buy new equipment for the business. Tyler has been telling people he is starting his own construction company, but no one in the industry wants to work with him. Word travels fast in construction, and now everyone knows he is a liar and a thief. Mike heard that Tyler applied for a job at 3 of our competitors. All 3 companies called me for a reference. I simply sent them copies of the police reports and the partnership dissolution agreement that showed the buyout of his share for $1. Suffice it to say, Tyler's career in construction in Colorado is completely over. Meanwhile, my business is absolutely booming. Without the drama from Tyler or the constant financial demands from Pamela, I have been able to focus completely on growing the company. I landed 2 large commercial contracts worth a combined $3.2 million. I hired 3 new employees, and we are booked through next year. Revenue projections show that this year I will earn $400,000 more than I ever did with Tyler dragging me down. The craziest part is how much better everything works without Tyler's supposed client relations. It turns out people prefer to deal with someone who actually knows what they are talking about and does not promise impossible deadlines. Pamela tried to contact me one more time last week. She sent a long message saying she had learned from her mistakes and wanted to make things right between us. I replied, "New phone, who is this?" Diego thought it was hilarious and suggested I should trademark the phrase. I found out from mutual friends that Pamela's real estate license was suspended pending an ethics investigation. Apparently, she had been using client information to look for married men to have affairs with. The wealthy man she was dating filed a complaint after his wife found out everything. So now she is unemployed, facing criminal charges, without family support, and pregnant with a child whose father could be any one of several different guys. Tyler is in a similar situation, jobless, company-less, with a criminal record, and about $55,000 in debt between legal fees and restitution payments. Meanwhile, I just bought a new truck. I made an offer on a bigger house with a real workshop space, and I'm planning a vacation to Hawaii next month. Diego has been documenting this whole saga and keeps saying I should write a book titled, "How 2 Idiots Accidentally Made Me Rich and Successful." The best part is that neither Tyler nor Pamela learned anything from this experience. They both still try to play the victim and blame me for overreacting to their mistakes. Tyler even had the nerve to ask me if I could write him a letter of recommendation for potential employers. I told him I would be happy to write an honest assessment of his character and work ethic. He never mentioned it again. My team threw a celebration party last weekend for hitting our revenue goals ahead of schedule. Mike gave a toast to showing everyone how to turn a betrayal into a business opportunity. 6 months ago, I thought my life was completely falling apart. Now I realize that Tyler and Pamela did me the biggest favor before I married that disaster and gave Tyler even more control over my business. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be the best thing for your future. But the story does not end there, because last month both Tyler and Pamela completely hit rock bottom and came crawling back with the most pathetic request you can imagine. Tyler got out of jail 2 months ago and could not find a job anywhere in Colorado. His criminal record, plus all the stories about our partnership, made him completely unemployable in construction. He eventually had to move in with his elderly grandmother in Nebraska because not even his own parents wanted to help him. Pamela's situation got even worse. The wealthy man's wife destroyed her in court and won a $55,000 judgment for emotional distress and alienation of affection. Pamela declared bankruptcy, but the judgment survives the process, so she will be paying that debt for the next 20 years. Her parents finally kicked her out of the house when she refused to get a job and kept bringing random men home looking for a father figure for the baby. Social services intervened after neighbors reported that she was leaving the child alone while she went to bars. Last month I got a call from my lawyer. Tyler and Pamela had hired him to approach me with what they called a business proposal. They wanted to offer their services to help me expand into the Nebraska and Wyoming markets. Tyler would use his contacts and Pamela would handle client relations and marketing. In return, they wanted me to pay off Pamela's legal debts, give Tyler a company truck, and split the profits 50-50 on any expansion into new markets. I told my lawyer to set up a meeting, not because I was interested, but because I wanted to see how desperate they were. Diego insisted on coming as my business consultant. He practiced his serious business face for an hour before the meeting. They arrived looking like they had been living rough for months. Tyler had probably lost about 30 pounds and looked like he had not had a decent haircut in half a year. Pamela was wearing ill-fitting clothes and had that desperate, hungry look that truly broken people have. The business proposal was even more delusional than I expected. Tyler, I know we have had our differences, but I have learned a lot about business development during my time away. The Nebraska market is wide open for quality contractors, Pamela, and I have really grown as a person. Being a single mother taught me responsibility, and I'm ready to be a true professional. Diego could not keep a straight face. He started coughing to cover his laughter. I let them finish their whole pitch. It was about 20 minutes of pure desperation disguised as a business opportunity. When they were done, I asked them, "So, let me get this straight. You want me to pay off Pamela's debts, give Tyler a truck, and split the profits with two people who stole from me, lied about me, and tried to destroy my business? Tyler, we know we made mistakes, but this could be a new beginning for all of us, a chance to put the past behind us and build something together. Pamela, please, I have a daughter to think about. She needs stability, and this could give us all a real future." It was then that I dropped the line Diego, and I had practiced. "You know what? I'm going to help you both." Their faces lit up with hope for the first time in months. "I'm going to help you learn the most important lesson of your lives. Actions have consequences. You burned every bridge, destroyed every relationship, and lost every opportunity because of your own decisions. The help you need is not a job or money. It is accepting responsibility for what you did and learning to live with the results." Tyler, what does that mean exactly? It means get the hell out of my office and never contact me again. You made your choices. Now live with them forever. Diego added, "And maybe next time do not shit where you eat." They left in tears, both of them. Two adults in their late 20s crying because they finally understood that their actions had permanent consequences that they could not undo. I felt bad for exactly 30 seconds. Then I remembered everything they put me through and went back to feeling great about my life. 3 days later, I received a desperate message from Pamela. "Please reconsider. I'm about to lose custody of my daughter." I replied, "You should have thought of that before you decided to be a lying, manipulative criminal." "Not my problem." Tyler sent a similar message. "I will be homeless soon. My grandmother cannot support me anymore." I replied, "Good. Maybe sleeping on the street will teach you not to steal from the people who help you." My company just signed a $4.2 million contract to renovate a casino in Nevada. I'm opening a second office and hiring 12 more people. I heard from industry contacts that Tyler's grandmother died last month and left her house to a cousin of his instead of him. Apparently, even she was disgusted with his behavior and changed her will. Pamela lost custody of her daughter to her parents and now faces additional fraud charges for trying to collect social benefits while hiding assets. They thought they were so smart. They thought they could have it all, sleep with my fiancée, steal my money, destroy my business, and then crawl back when it all went wrong. Instead, they taught me the most valuable lesson of my life. Sometimes the best thing people can do for you is show you exactly who they are so you can cut them out of your life forever. I'm 31 now, completely debt-free. The business is doing better than ever, and I'm dating an amazing woman who is nothing like Pamela. Life is absolutely incredible. Tyler and Pamela can solve their own problems. They made their decisions. Now they have to live in the world those decisions created. Sometimes the universe has a perfect sense of humor, and sometimes justice is watching people destroy themselves while you build an empire on the ashes of their stupidity. Game over.